Hello. So we're starting a whole new quest. It's always fun to start a new quest. Now, in this quest, we'll be looking at a very important and interesting aspect of work, and we call it energy. So we'll be looking first at what energy is, and then we'll be looking at the types of energy and what they are, and then we'll try to understand how important they are. So if energy is so important to us, how important really is it? Now, let's start off with this lesson, where we'll first be looking at energy and what it means in physics. And let's start off with a basic question. What is energy? So energy, intuitively, we know, is what you get when you eat. And it's what you use when you walk around. Energy is what you get also when you connect your cell phone or your computer to be charged. And energy is what you buy when you buy diesel or petrol to drive your car or to put in your generator. Now, one thing to note from all of these examples is that all you want to do is to get your phone and computer to work by charging it. Or all you want to do is to get your car or generator to work by getting fuel. Or what you really need is the strength to walk around and to do your daily activities by eating. This is all you want. So it helps us understand that energy is simply the ability to do work. Even in physics, it means the exact same thing. Energy is simply the ability to do work. It is just a measure of how much work an object is doing or how much work an object is capable of doing. So we can say that an object has energy whether it is working or even whether it is at rest, not doing any work, so long as it has the ability or the potential to do work. So, did I say potential? Yes, in fact, the kind of energy that an object has when it is at rest is called potential energy. Potential energy is the energy an object has due to its position, whereas kinetic energy is the energy an object has due to its motion. So an object at rest can have potential energy due to its position, but it must be moving to have kinetic energy. So, for example, when I'm sitting on my chair, I actually have potential energy. And when I stand up and walk or run or even dance, then additionally I have kinetic energy. Now, please remember that both kinetic and potential energy are types of a form of energy we call mechanical energy. Now, we'll discuss the forms of energy in subsequent lessons, but for now, let's look at where we get energy from. Now, the first thing you have to remember is that we humans, we cannot create energy. We can create devices or machines intelligently that can convert energy from one form to another, but we can't certainly create energy. The sources of energy we get can come from either renewable sources or non-renewable sources. Now, by renewable, we simply mean those places where we can get energy from that are naturally provided by nature. They are renewable because nature keeps on providing more and more and more while we use them. In other words, we can't simply finish using up renewable sources of energy. Examples are like the sun, wind, waterfall, or even trees and firewood, so long as we use them sustainably. Now, there are also non-renewable sources of energy that are not renewed when we use them. They are limited and finite. And these include things like petroleum, nuclear energy, coal, and so on. Now, remember that energy is measured in what? It's measured in joules, whether kinetic or potential energy, measured in joules. All forms of energy are measured in joules. Now, remember when I said energy cannot be created? In fact, not only can we not create energy, we can't also destroy energy. In fact, we have a law in physics that ensures we always remember this, and it's called the law of conservation of energy. This law simply states that energy can neither be created nor can it be destroyed. We can only convert it from one form to another. Now, this means if I totally convert a certain amount of energy from one form to another, I cannot increase it or reduce the amount of energy, but I can only get the same amount of energy in other forms. Now, you may be asking, how does that work? How does this work? Let me give you an example to illustrate. Now, I enter my room, and I can see that the room is dark. So what do? I put on a light bulb. Now, what I'm doing is converting electrical energy to light and heat energy. Now, why do I say light and heat? Because the bulb produces the light for me to see. That's why I put the light on. And if you touch that bulb, you will discover that it also gets a bit hot. Now, if I were to measure the amount of light energy and heat energy produced by that bulb, it must be equal to the amount of electrical energy I used. So if you want to know more about the different forms of energy we have, we're going to continue on in the next lesson, okay, as we continue converting energy. Now remember, just keep learning here. All right, science is actually quite straightforward. And remember that accepting the challenges to learn science is a bold step, okay? And overcoming them is sometimes something we have to do. See you in the next lesson.